This is the first lesson in a 7-lesson series called 7 Proven Secrets to Attract Your Soulmate Without Kissing Any Frogs. So today we're going to talk about secret number 1, which is open up to love as a possibility. So we need to be able to believe that something's possible before we can accomplish it or before it happens to us. Think about one of the reasons that you might think it's not possible, or that it might not be possible, or that makes you have doubt about it. It's too late. I haven't dated for so long. I'm out of practice. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I don't know anything about online dating. I don't want to do that. What if it really was possible? What if those thoughts maybe could be put aside? Just set them aside. You don't need to let them go completely. And think, are you willing to consider it as a possibility? Are you willing to consider it? And one of my coaches asked me when I was struggling with something, I work with a lot of different coaches, business coaches, love coach, and some other professional coaches. Are you willing to be willing? So if you just can't even muster up the willingness to believe that it's possible, maybe start out with saying right at the top of your page, I am willing to be willing to believe this is possible for me. So we got to start there. And if you are willing to believe it's possible and you actually are starting to think it's possible, but you just have a lot of doubts, you're in a great spot, because that's where we begin. We want to make sure that we think about what's behind our doubts, and we'll bring up several of those as we go through this. But one of them might be, there's an expiration date on love. I've never known anybody over the age of 55 or 60 that's ever found love. I know some people that have gotten married sort of for convenience, but I don't really think it's possible. And the answer to that is, especially during this last year that's been so challenging, people went online more than ever before. As you know, you've done lots of maybe Zoom meetings and different things online. My most recent client, who just got married last month, was never wanting to go online. She's 65 years old and agreed to, kind of reluctantly, but she said, I guess I'll believe that it's maybe possible and take it from there. The age range of love is just a myth. There's true love happening, and has happened during this last year and a half, especially, but for years and years in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. And there's even stories of people in their hundreds. So age has nothing to do with it. The length of time it's been for you since you were in a relationship, or if you have never been in a relationship, none of that matters, because all of this love can happen successfully without any of those limitations. So you don't even have to fully believe that it can happen for you. You know, it has been said that faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. Huge faith is not needed. Just even a little bit of faith, a little bit of belief. And working with a coach gives you support in that belief, because I completely believe that there's love for everybody that wants it. And there's no doubt about that. So even a hint of faith can open that door a slight crack, and then watch the light, the love just come pouring in. It sounds pretty fairy tale, but it really is a fairy tale magical thing. If we think about it differently, if we can change our mindset a little differently. There are so many people, there are more people online dating right now in this last year than have ever been online before. And you don't have to meet someone online. Meeting them organically, I guess, is one of the ways that people say it, just naturally. And what you do in your life can certainly happen. Meeting through friends, meeting at your church or your spiritual center are two of the most common ways to meet someone. Online is pretty exciting for me, because it's so easy to be clear about what I want and screen through lots of different people, so that I'm not spending time on people who won't work for me, who I won't work for them either. So there's bonuses to that. So for our action step for this first lesson, how to open your heart to the possibility of love. The first step is to, at the top of a piece of paper or in your journal, write, I am willing to open my heart to the possibility of love. Just write that up there as a statement, as the title. And then the first question, the only question to answer is, if love were to be possible for me, it would look like this. So just if it was possible, this is what it would look like. And then just let your mind go and just write whatever comes to mind. It would be like this. It would be like that. It might be this way. It might be that way. And don't feel like you have to be set in stone with what you come up with here, but your mind starts to open to this idea and your heart starts to open this idea. So let's do that step first, and then we'll go on to the next step in the next video. I can't wait to hear how this step went for you. And let's look at step 2, which has to do with setting an intention. Enjoy this step